Buddy, welcome back. Kieran Stack here from Service 101, taking you on the next installment of the Service Advisor 101 book, A Blueprint to Becoming a High-Performing Service Advisor. So we're moving on to page 15, where it's element 4, where we're talking about a high-performing service advisors do unto others as they would like done unto them. So let's take it from here. So here we are. So, because they have such high standards, high performers can be great role models for those around them. I have seen many high performers step up into leadership roles. Leaders support those around them, and given the chance, I think a fundamental step towards a leadership role for a high performing service advisor is to begin to support and coach their colleagues. This can do wonders for the self esteem of both the high performer and the other team members, which, as a byproduct, raises everyone's job satisfaction and likely the profitability of the service department. With that said, a lot of high performers don't actually understand the strategies that they use, which leads to a feeling of overwhelm or insecurity when tasked with coaching others. If you can't name it, you can't tame it. It's important to slow down and begin to question and understand the psychology around what and how you do what you do. This will lead to more clarity and congruence, which maps to high performance. So let's break this down. What am I talking about here? Let it be said, to become a manager, you need to be good at what your team do. Generally speaking, okay? Yes, there are some technical roles where the person in charge is a better manager than they are technician. But more often than not, for you to be an excellent service manager, after sales manager, 2IC, second in charge, assistant service manager, senior service advisor, you need to be good at the role of advising, probably even great at it. So I have seen many high performers step into leadership roles. I remember one after sales manager in particular, he got promoted recently. He went from apprentice to technician to workshop controller to service advisor to assistant service manager to service manager and then to after sales manager, because he was purposely upgrading his psychology, his skill set, his mindset, and investing in himself. He didn't just get there by accident, he got there on purpose. So if you're relying on luck to get you to where you want to be, forget about it. Find a mentor, find someone who can journey with you, find someone who you would listen to or you would like to replace, and then follow their journey. So leaders support those around them, and given a chance, I think a fundamental step towards a leadership role for a high-performing advisor is to begin to support and coach their colleagues. So this is where you've got a high-performing advisor who's doing really well in sales, in customer satisfaction, in his paperwork or her paperwork or their processes, and they just have it down pat, right? This can do wonders for the self-esteem of both that high performer and the other team member who they're purposely investing in if they're given this chance. So managers, consider taking an advisor aside and go, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. You're great at this, this, and this, but I need you to work on in this area as well. But I can tell that you're better in these couple of areas, and I want you to work with this advisor and this advisor to support them in their endeavors. So this should raise everyone's job satisfaction as well. But at the same time, you're still going to have to get productivity out of that service advisor who you have now kind of training or coaching or mentoring your junior advisors, if you will, or your lower performers. The problem with this approach is that a lot of service advisors don't understand the strategies that they use. So they've been doing it a long time and they're like, yeah, you just tell the customer what the car needs and you get them to say yes. So that's what they'll say to an advisor in a coaching session. And then the new advisor goes, hey, Mr. Customer, your car needs a set of brakes. It's this much money. Is that something you want to go ahead with today? And it falls over. And the advisor will tell them, or the senior advisor will say, oh, but you didn't use good tone, or you didn't use good body language, or, no, you did what I told you to do, but try again and just keep trying. As I said here, if you can't name it, you can't tame it. And how you take a customer on a journey from the very start of an interaction, and this goes back to element element 3, which was high performing service advisors' questions and statements always map to a destination. They're not just winging it or making it up as they go along. They are thinking about their thinking. And the best coaches out there, or the best senior advisors, or the best managers out there will work with their teams and go, right, why did you say that? Is there a better question you could have asked? Is there something better you could have said to get a better outcome? And cause that self-discovery to occur in the mind of the advisor you're trying to coach. Again, you do that by asking questions. You do that by listening. You do that by giving feedback. But senior advisors or advisors who are trying to develop other advisors, if you can't name it, you can't tame it. What I mean by that is if you don't understand the way that you do something, it's going to be very difficult and challenging for you to explain it to somebody else. So it's important to slow down and begin to question and understand the psychology around what and how you do what you do. This will lead to more clarity and congruence, which maps to higher performance. A good way of doing this, and again, I'm not telling you to do it, but perhaps it's a useful endeavor, is to record yourself. Now, I'm not talking about recording a customer. I'm talking about recording yourself on a sales call. Let's say, for example, you're making an outbound sales call. Hit record on your phone so that it records your side of the conversation, and you can listen to yourself back and go, gosh, no wonder the customer didn't say yes. Or on the other side of the coin, I said this, and then I said this, and then I presented the price, and then I overcame an objection. Perhaps that objection, I want to put that into my presentation next time so that doesn't happen again. And then you start to refine your skills, and you start to define your skills. And as a beauty of defining it means you can name it. And then once you name it, you can tame it. And once you tame it, you can teach it. And once you teach it, you can multiply it. And this is the art and science of communication, which I spoke about again in element 3, which was the, oh my gosh, where is it? Here it is. The statements and questions. Like, it's important that you're mapping towards a destination, not just winging it. Again, you're going to have people modeling you, which is acting like you, starting to mimic you, starting to sound like you. And if you're good at what you do, and your ears prick up and go, John over there or Mary over there are starting to sound like me, that's when you know you're nailing it. That's when you know you're achieving it. High-performing service advisors do unto others as they would like done unto them. However, junior service advisors, if you're listening to this and you're not respecting the advice you're getting from the senior service advisor or the 2IC or the service man, you're not accepting it, you're not embracing it, you're not considering it, shame on you, because they're going to stop sewing into you. They're going to stop connecting with you. They're going to let you go off on your own, and you will not be successful because they've made every mistake you haven't even made yet. They have had so many failures in their career that they can prevent you from having. And that's a good thing. So make sure you're connecting with them. Make sure you're thanking them. Make sure you're appreciating them for what they're doing. So there's two parts to this. There's the advisor junior getting the information, and there's the advisor senior passing on the information. Record yourself, define it, name it, tame it, teach it, multiply it. That is your remit. That is your next stage. If you're doing this for more than 2 or 3 years, it's time to step up. Understand what you're doing, multiply yourself, and kick goals in your career. You are the next leader of the department or of a department. This is your opportunity. This is your call to action. It's 2024, baby. Get on board, get on with it, and I wish you nothing but the best. Kieran at service101.com.au. Trust you got value from today's session. Onwards and upwards for you and the team members around you. Don't settle for average. Do not settle for mediocrity. Settle only for high performance. I'll see you on the next session. Thanks again for joining me.